Hi everybody, I've been missing on and off. I've had a terrible cold, I've still got it. I think I'll be in the Guinness Book of Records soon, the longest cold in history. Excuse me. So last time I was here, the last video, I spoke about this, it's the paper piece. And I was going to attach the piece, there was a loose piece and I was going to attach it. And you know what, this just melds into one when you attach them. You can't see the joins. But I can identify that other piece because in these little pools of silk velvet there's coloured stitching, coloured embroidery, and over here there's none in the pools of velvet here, so I know that it's that bit. And I joined it with the loops, like I said. If you go back and watch the last video I posted, so these really lovely bullion loops, I attached it with that. I also had to finish going around with French knots around each piece. So what I want to do now is put another piece together. I really need to go on my machine and make some more of this paper. This was the only piece I could find. So when I'm doing something like this, I'm trying to be consistent, okay, so it's cohesive. So for example, if I suddenly started stitching that in bright blue, bright red and bright orange and then put it on there, it'd stand out a mile, wouldn't it? But the fact that I'm using the same embellishments on every piece, it allows it to flow and it becomes a whole piece, and that's why you can't tell which one's just been put on and which hasn't, unless you can do what I did with regard to the pools of silk velvet. So I've got some things here, I'll try and pull in, but I don't need to lose it completely. So the first thing I'm going to do, these things here, these are torn bits of paper out of magazines, okay? And the magazines I've been using, I've been asked about these before. I buy them online from a guy in Japan. The Chinese magazines. You used to be able to buy them from the people direct, but I can't seem to locate anywhere to buy them from them anymore. They're all in Chinese, they don't mean a thing. But I'd like the pictures. It's a looking at book, and plus I love the graphics and I love how they put things together. And these are the little pieces I've been tearing up to put on that work. So I never throw anything away, can you tell? See, that's nice there as well. I mean, you can't tell what they are when they're torn up, but that doesn't matter to me. I like the colours and the composition of the images. I mean, look, there's ripped bits everywhere, but some probably not suitable for this work that have been used in other work. And then I've still got pages that are intact that are yet to be torn up. It's called Little Thing magazine. So I couldn't find them to buy. I bought some in England online, I think, a while ago, and then I wanted some more. And I couldn't find anywhere to buy them online, so I searched Etsy for hours and hours for Chinese magazines. That's a nice little bit there. And I came across a Japanese guy who sold magazines that were nothing like this. But I thought, well, he's obviously a magazine seller, so I'll ask him. So I asked him if he could get me some of these. Yeah, of course. So I've used him a couple of times. They're addictive, honestly. Don't say you weren't warned. If you want his Etsy shop name, let me know. I can't remember off the top of my head. So I think I've got enough now anyway. So, and I've got more magazines than that. I just didn't move on. So I'd start with this, and also I like to put a bit of fabric on. And I've left my fabric over there. Hang on. Oh, vintage fabric. I've just cut this, a bit of lace. So I'm going to start with the lace. Now I haven't done that on every single panel, but I've got some there, you can see. I've got some there. I'm sure I've got more than that. No, maybe not. Yeah, there's a little tiny bit there, and a tiny bit there. So if I can, I like to put them there and there. I like to put little bits of vintage fabric on as well. So I've cut this vintage lace, cut it down, and I'm going to put it on like pleated. So I'll just kind of try and pleat it a little bit, like that. So it doesn't really matter where it goes, it's the first thing, so I'll start there. Now the other thing to say, and if you've watched a lot of my videos you'll know this, if I'm pinning through paper, I have different pins. I have a pin cushion for fabric pins and one for pins that I use on paper. They're just fabric pins, but they're the ones I use on paper because it blunts them. So that's that bit on there. Now a couple of bits of this. These will be stitched on with the little stab stitches. I could put that coming out from under there. Now don't worry, if you're trying to do this and you're like, oh that doesn't look right, just remove it and do it again. I've been doing this a long time and sometimes they take me forever to get right. I have to get to a stage where I'm pleased with them, you know what I mean? So just keep going and you'll figure it out. So if I put a bit there, now when these have been attached, stitched on, all the things I'm going to put on here now, then I go and I edge the silk velvet. But these paper things, I don't know if you can see, just attached with little stab stitches around the outside, nothing fancy. It doesn't really need anything fancy. And then they've all got a hexagon on, a Liberty hexagon. So it's just like about balance really. I'm going to move that. See, I'm doing it already. I'm going to put this hexagon here. And I don't like the fact that it's almost on the line with that. So I'm going to move that and put that the other way and put it up there. And then a button. I've got buttons on here that are covered with paper. There's one. They're not actually buttons, they're curtain rings. I covered it with paper. That's one that's covered with fabric. Okay. Another paper one. So I've got a paper one here, so this has to go on. Now to be honest with you, this will probably go on as a last thing because it's going to get in the way. When I'm stitching on here, I know the thread's going to get caught around that, so I won't put that on till the last thing. But I'll just pin it on now to give you a sense of how it might look. And then just let me have a look, see if it's enough. I'm not sure it's enough. But then I've also got to I've got to see the bigger picture now. I don't like that, so I might stitch those sides down as well of that fabric. I think it'll look better if they're stitched down. Okay, so I'll pin them and that'll tell me that they need to be stitched down at the top and down both sides. Now just let me get this back. So really I have got on there the basics. The basics are definitely on there. I've also got some other little things, if these things here. Little labels, woven labels. Maybe I could put one of them on here. I bought these, I didn't make these. Obsessed, honestly. So maybe one of these could go on there. There is one of these on here somewhere. Let me see. So it is consistent. Where is it? I'm sure there's one of these on here. I saw it before. I'm sure I did. Karen. Where is it? Honestly, I really... Oh, if you can see it, scream at me. I'm sure there was one on here. Oh. I can't find it. I'm convinced. Well, there you go. I'll probably find it when I turn the camera off. But anyway, there is one somewhere. See, that's how well... Oh, there. That's how well it all lives together, is because everything just melds and blends into one. So I could put one of these on, but I've been minded, I think, to put it there. And then when I attach this to the main body, that'll maybe overlay something. Let me have a look. I need to put something over here. This is the area that needs attention. So if I was to put that on there, I mean I might not, but if I was going to put it on there, then it would be overlaying and it would flick over the top of that button. So yeah, so that's how I put them together. So then there's an awful lot of stitching to do. This has to be stitched, these have to be stitched, the time consuming bit is the French knots around all these pools of silk velvet, and then go back to this. I might do this first actually, and put some coloured embroidery on the silk velvet. Just French knots and lazy daisy stitch, mimicking little flowers, but I need to do that on there as well. So when I'm not blowing my nose, that's what I'll be doing. Okay, and I'm back to being hit and miss again. I can't help it. You don't want to know what's going on here. Honestly, you don't, trust me. It's nothing terrible, but it's very time consuming, and it's, well, enough already. Get me my sewing life back. Anyway, so yeah, it's a quick hello. I don't want you to think I don't care, that I'm just coming and going as I please because I can't be bothered. It's not that. It's really not that. I'm trying my best, and I miss it. I miss it so much. I'm trying my best to be active all the time on here. So thank you for watching, and have a lovely weekend.